Today I will explain some mistakes that a new player makes when he or she plays heroes and generals. As a new player who is playing the game for the first time, things can be hard to understand at the first because there are a lot of things that are going on your screen while you are playing the game. From sounds of firefights to engine noise of the tank passing next to you. New players get confused in such situations, so they tend to make mistakes, either by knowingly or unknowingly. Even I have done a lot of by myself. That is why I'm making this guide, so that it might help someone new joining the game to understand the game much easily than I did. So here are some common mistakes that a new player should avoid in the initial days of playing the game. The first mistake is buying unnecessary weapon mods. While playing the game with your newly equipped weapon, you will find that new mods for that weapon gets unlocked, like trigger sight and springs. New players tend to get attracted towards these new mods, forgetting about the maintenance cost they need to pay for each one, and ends up buying all the unnecessary mods. So please avoid this, only buy those mods that are best to equip, and don't overmod your weapons. You can check videos on YouTube and guides on heroes and generals forums to know the best mods for your weapons. No need to buy excessive mods. The second mistake is throwing grenades without a care. As you play you will unlock the grenades also. New players get excited, buying them and try to use them casually by throwing them at every enemy they see. Grenades are to be used in situations where the enemy is in the covers and you don't have a clear sight to them, or at a group of enemies defending a spot or objective. Grenades are expensive to maintain. Using them casually will hit your maintenance bill hard. So use them wisely. The third mistake is shooting friendly landmines. As you are new to the game you might not know the concept of mines in this game. There are mines for each faction to use. Sometime you will see a mine placed on the ground, and you will be the most happy guy to do something stupid with it, like you will try to shoot it with your weapon. If it's enemy mine you are most welcome to destroy it, but when it's friendly don't do anything with it. It's on the ground for a purpose of destroying enemy vehicles. So avoid shooting or messing with it. The fourth mistake is driving over friendly mines. While you are driving a vehicle on the battlefield, you will observe that at certain spots on the map, your teammates might be placing mines to stop the incoming enemy vehicles. So avoid driving over it, it will kill you, and it's a waste of money also. It is meant for the enemies, not for you. Friendly mines have a marker on them, which is visible up to a certain distance only. So always be cautious about mines on the way. The fifth mistake is walking over friendly anti-personnel mines. Like landmines, there are anti-personnel mines in the game for each faction. These mines are hard to locate because these are mostly placed inside buildings, on the floor and stairs. Best way to avoid these mines is by seeing their visible marker and not going closer to them. The sixth mistake is walking through the same path again on which you just died at. As a new player in the game you will find it difficult to find your way on the map and battlefield. Not knowing the maps and its routes, you might end up walking again and again into an enemy sniper's camping spot. Being a new player you are a easy target, and therefore you will die again and again. So avoid going on the same route as you did before, and ended up dying. If you have to go through that route again, just make sure you eliminate the threat and sweep the area visually of any remaining enemies, then only move forward on the same path again. The seventh mistake is standing in the open field and shooting. Being in the battlefield is not only about shooting your enemies, it's more than that. Surviving in the battle zone is also important. For your survival, cover is also necessary. Either have a hard cover of buildings or stones or hide in the tree lines and bushes. Being in the open, you become an easy target, as you can be seen from far. So avoid being in the open. The eighth mistake is buying all weapons on a single player. In the starting of my H&G days, I made this mistake of buying all weapons on a single player, buying everything my player unlocks. In other similar FPS games you might have seen that there is options of changing loadout during a battle, but in Heroes and Generals you can only change role of the player, like from infantry you can become other infantry guy, sniper, pilot, tanker or a paratrooper. so it's necessary to have 2 infantry soldier, or you can have many infantry players. Each for different purposes, like one player having one-shot kill rifle loadout, another having SMG, LMG or AR build, another having anti-tank loadout. The more players you have, the more option you will have in the battle of different playstyles. It will take some time for you to understand this concept, but you will see the benefits of having many players later. The 9th mistake is ignoring the badges. In the starting, badges might not be important to you as you may have not unlocked the higher tier badges, but these badges can change your gameplay experience a lot in many ways. The badges in this game are like perks or boost a player can have. So keep in mind that badges have a greater role in the game than you initially thought. The 10th mistake is having misconception about expensive weapons. As a new player, you might think that expensive weapons might be the most effective ones. But you are wrong. Weapons effectiveness depends on your playstyle and the purpose for which you are using it. The initial semi-auto rifle which you will get on your infantry player, like M1 Grand for the US faction, G43 for the Germans and SVT40 for the Soviet faction, are one of the best weapons for their respective factions. You will realize this later as you play. The 11th mistake is ignoring spotted enemies. As you are in the battlefield, you will notice a red marker on your screen. These markers are the last known locations of an individual enemy player or enemy vehicle that is spotted by you or your teammates. These markers will only remain for some seconds, so use these markers to your advantage rather than ignoring it. You can spot enemy by pointing your crosshair on the enemy. A beep sound will come confirming your marker. The 12th mistake is ignoring the chat. During the play, you can chat with your teammates and squad by pressing the enter key in the keyboard. Here you can pass information to your team about an enemy that have just killed you, or any other information that you think your team might benefit from. There are 2 channels in it. The first one is team, marked with blue color. The second one is squad, marked with bright green color. You can switch between them by pressing tab key on the keyboard. The 13th mistake is forgetting that prone and crouch exists in the game. Press escape key and go to the settings, and then into key bindings option. See all the keys and make changes if you want. The 14th mistake is not picking up other people's good weapons. As you will play the game, you will notice dropped weapons on the ground. These are of your dead teammates or enemies. So don't hesitate in picking up these weapons. If they are better than yours, then just go for them. The 15th mistake is firing on the planes with your weapons. Don't try shoot enemy planes with your weapons. It will not do much unless you are using some high RPM weapons like LMGs or high damage weapons like anti-material rifles and bazookas. The 16th mistake is throwing grenades and shooting rifle at tanks. As a new player, you will get excited after seeing an enemy tank. In the excitement, you will start throwing grenades or start shooting your rifle at them, thinking that it might will damage them. But you are wrong. Grenades and rifles won't do any damage on tanks, so avoid doing that. If you really want to damage the tanks, then use anti-tank weapons. The 17th mistake is swimming across the river. There is no need to cross a river by swimming if there is a crossing available next to you or near you. I have seen players swimming across the river between E4 and E3 on town map, simply ignoring the crossing available on both the sides to them. One side bridge and other side have 2 water crossings. By swimming in waters, you becomes a slow-moving easy target. You cannot do much in that situation apart from swimming. If an enemy spots you, you are basically in the hands of the enemy's will. And there are big crocs in the river too. They will rip you apart. So no swimming in rivers. The 18th mistake is spamming spacebar and shooting wildly when getting shot. This is not a Call of Duty game that you start jumping crazy and shoots in every possible direction your aim goes when someone is shooting at you. Simply move fast and be in covers rather than jumping in the middle of firefight. The 19th mistake is ignoring sounds in this game. I will not say that the sounds in this game are as important like playing PUBG or any hardcore shooting games. Neither it is good as compared to them. but still the in-game sounds will help you a lot in finding the enemies near you, and if you will pay more attention to it, you will find it very helpful. So don't ignore sounds. These are all the points I have figured out till now. If you think I have missed any points, you can comment down below for the new players to see. Before I end today's video, I request you guys to share this video to every new player in your circle, so that they can understand how this game works more. That's all for today. Subscribe for more Heroes and Generals videos. Thanks for watching.